So I've been going on about clones for the last few videos because I wanted to introduce a discussion about our parallel selves. So our parallel selves are basically like our genetic twins, right? Like they are genetically identical copies of ourselves sort of spread across the multiverse. But while the DNA of your parallel selves is the same as yours, like twins, the consciousness in each version of your parallel selves differs, right? So like I'm of the opinion that the consciousness of your parallel selves differ from the consciousnesses within you right now. And while I understand that we're all just fractals of a collective consciousness, I think each fractal of said collective has its own unique pattern, like a snowflake. Now, I'm very aware that that may be my ego talking that's constantly striving for permanence, but for the sake of this conversation, let's roll with it. So I'm of the camp that if one should ever meet their parallel selves, while they may look like you, they wouldn't actually be you. Much in the way that twins aren't the same person. Like, for example, if you and I bought the exact same car, the same make, model, year, everything, in 20 years, my car is going to be completely different from yours. It's going to run differently. Your tires would be completely different, maybe a different color job, because you and I are two different drivers, and so we're going to treat our cars completely differently. Now think of your body as a vehicle and your consciousness as the driver of said vehicle. Just like the car analogy, a person with your same exact DNA across the multiverse might be genetically identical to you, but because the consciousness that's driving your vehicle differs from theirs, there would be differences. So while the nature would be the same, right? Same DNA being nature, the nurture would be different, right? Like while their parents would have the same DNA as your parents, their parents would be a little different, right? And they may have raised them in a different way. Their parents might have made a decision to raise them in a different country or fed them different types of food. Depending on what kind of food they have in a parallel universe, they might be a different height from you. Their gut biome might be different, which would mean that they might have a different temperament than you. And then considering the fact that they grew up in a parallel universe with different histories and things like that, their worldview, their view of life could be completely different from yours, right? Like imagine a parallel universe without world wars, without slavery, without misogyny, right? Like how would a parallel version of you see the world? Would you want to have a conversation with them? Would you even get along? Anyway, this is what I spent a considerable amount of time thinking about, because why not?